Hello and welcome back to 100 Things to Do on WordPress video. We already covered 50 different items that we can do on WordPress. Now it's about time to add open graph and Twitter cards. I will probably use a plugin for this, but just let's try to understand what the uh, ChatGPT thinks. Okay, so we already have Yoast SEO plugin installed. So this will be a breeze. Let's get started. Let's go to dashboard, and then in the dashboard we can go to SEO, Yoast SEO, social. We'll go to integrations. Probably it is different nowadays. Um, we try to find this. These are premium features, gender, all categories. We can look at the settings. And over here SEO analysis is enabled, readability is enabled, the insights are enabled. Okay, open graph over here, as you can see, open graph data allows for Facebook and other social media to display preview with images and text excerpt when a link to the site is shared. Keep this feature enabled to optimize your site for social media. This is the item that we are working on now. By default, if this is like this, go ahead and enable the feature, and same goes with the card, which is Twitter cards. So if it is allows for X to display a preview with images and text excerpt when a link to your site is shared, enable this feature as well, and then save changes. Mine is enabled already, so I won't be making any changes, but this is where you enable it. It is under settings, site feature. Okay, now optimize homepage speed. So for this again we will use a plugin. We already have a plugin which is for caching. So let's see what ChatGPT says. We can use the Lightspeed cache that we have already installed. Over here on the plugins, if you go to install plugins, we have Lightspeed cache. So I will show you the settings again for Lightspeed cache. Lightspeed cache. Over here, if you go to settings, you have all these features, right? First is the cache. Okay, so enable cache, cache logged in users, cache comments, cache APIs, cache login page, cache mobile should be, these should be on. Okay, it is okay if it edits the HT access file. Then we have all these that you can configure, but for now we are good with the basic settings. Click on save changes. Then the time to live value is very large for the cache. That is how cache works, because of which the caching works. These many seconds is equals to 1 week. So by default the time to live for the cache is 1 week. After that, if the user goes to uh, history and then clear history over here, these are the cached URLs. So if he clears the history, only then the cache will run out. Okay, that is how this works. The next thing is purge. Purging is a feature where you go ahead and rebuild your website because the cache is not working. So for now, we will not purge anything. This is excluded for now. These are the URLs where you do not want to cache these URLs. For example, you can go to sitemaps. You can put the sitemap URL over here. It doesn't require caching. You can put the private URLs that you want over here, and then you can specify the strings and categories that do not have to be cached. You can also explicitly, you already know how to set up roles. You can disable caching for a particular user group, for example, administrator, and that will not cache it for that particular user. Okay, I will do it not to cache for administrator, and these we don't need at the moment because these are shortcodes that you can display. Object caching, some objects are returned by WordPress and other plugins that users use. These are for those. We are fine. You can turn the browser caching settings on and save changes. Advanced. These are for logging cookies. You don't have to cache it. You can force login. So that is the setting for the caches. Now test the speed of the website. That is the next item, which is 53. That is how you cache using Lightspeed. The next thing is how okay. We'll just be specific over here how to do this so that I can okay. Okay. You can go to page insights basically and GT metrics, both of them. I will go to GT metrics and page insights at the same time, and I will copy the URL. You just have to run the website test on GT metrics and page insights. That will show you how quick your website is loading. So just paste the URL, accept the cookie, test now, and it will show you the results. It is using the test server from Vancouver, Canada, and same for the page test. You can click on analyze. So as you can see, it found the site and it is testing it. We are doing item number 54, which is optimizing homepage speed. It is already optimized because we have used a lot of plugins, such as you can see, it gave us the score. It is grade D. Performance issues, we have a lot of performance issues, quite frankly, that we have to fix, and we are good with the structure of the page. It took 2.4 seconds to load. Okay, and then these are the things in terms of performance. Because we are using a free account, it is not showing us a lot of details, but then you will have to correct the performance structure, CRUX, waterfall video, performance structure, CRUX, and you can look at the waterfall model as well over here uh, to solve the issues. Okay, but by default, this is grade D, we have to improve. You can click on the question mark to learn more, and it will show you grade D means it is scoring 60 to 69%. So optimal is 90 to 100%, which is grade A. So let's see what Page Insights says us. And SEO is 100%, best practices 90, 79%, accessibility is there, and we have room for improvement. So you have to correct the first contentful paint. We have to solve the blocking time issues and page speed index. 10 seconds is a lot to load, so you have to correct all these things. For example, over here it is loading all these resources. As you can see, it is loading the minimum the style file, it is loading the jQuery, it is loading the dynamic styles, it is loading my style which I have created, it is loading the custom style. So because of which it is loading the Google fonts, because of which it is taking a lot of time to process on the site, right? So you have to solve each of these to get a better score, and the better score is usually about 90%. Okay, so that is how you optimize your home page speed. You can use a light theme. The theme that I'm using currently is called as if you go to themes, it is called as blog hash. So blog hash is a little, you can use themes such as Elementor, and you can create your own theme, right? For example, you can use Elementor themes, which is Hello Elementor. This will load very quickly, and you can look at the preview. It is not resource intensive, and it works perfectly. So you can use themes which are lightweighted and minimal to improve these scores. Okay, just to show you what happens, I will click on install over here. I will click on activate. Next thing that I will do is I will just visit the site directly for you guys, and because this is the first load, it just shows you how the website looks. Now if I run the same page test over here, if I come back to GT metrics and run this test now, you can just go to GT metrics and run the test. It is not allowing me to run it for the second time. It should hopefully reduce the way it caches. That is about it. In this video I showed you how to optimize the speed. We can go a little more higher. We can also do compress CSS and JS, because this is a 30-minute video and we still have time. We can do all these things, compress CSS and JS. You can use ChatGPT and do it. It will just show the plugin. So it is already done. We don't have additional things to do when it comes to caching. We can do this. Minify CSS and JS. Let's go to the appearance first and change our theme back to log hash child. Activate. Okay. And then what I can do is I can go to plugins, install plugins, and see if we have the plugin. We have page optimization over here on light speed. I click on that setting, and here as you can see you can set this to on. CSS minify, CSS combine can be set to on, and you can use generate use CSS, and then you can do this. You can do this and click on save changes. It will improve the site. JS, again minify JSS, CSS combine, and then load deferred JS is you can set it to delayed. You can click on save changes. HTML settings, minify. DNS prefetch, you can set the values over here for a particular URL, such as Google fonts, and these are fine. Load Google fonts asynchronously is on. Save changes. Next is media settings. Lazy load images on. Responsive placeholder uh, on. This will use all these services, for example low quantity image placeholder for your sites, so you can set the dimensions and control a lot of other things. On. For iframes, auto rescale is on. Click on save changes. Then we have VPI that I don't use, viewports. You can set it to on. You can set it to on. These are for multiple viewports such as mobiles and TVs. Media exclusions, if you want to exclude, use this particular option. Localization, you can set it to on, and then localize resources, let's set it to on and save changes. Next is tuning. You can include the delayed includes, for example, on the last item that we covered, which is the optimize the CSS and testing. Where is the testing one? This item that we did recently, which is GP metrics testing, right? There you saw some things which were put like fonts and other things. All those, what you could do is you could delay all those over here. You could include them and then put those values over here. You can copy the URLs and set them to excludes or fine tune them. That is what this is. Tuning for CSS, you can do this as well. So these take time, so I'm not explaining them one by one. So database, it is fine. You can just go ahead and You can do clean all once in a while, and it keeps cleaning the database and things like that with this setting, which is fine. DB optimizations, number of revisions, you can, these all settings depend on what you really want. Okay, so I'm not teaching you all these things because these are specific aspects for the plugin itself. So on crawler, again, I'm showing you a setting. Let's look at the crawler. It is on, and then I'm looking at the CDN, which is an important setting for this plugin. You can enable QIC cloud services, and it will help you to, you can use, instead of QUIC cloud, you can use Cloudflare API. If you get the token, you can paste that here and then optimize a little more. Um, as you can see, set CDN for Cloudflare. You need to add your site to the Cloudflare and get the API token and then do this. So I won't be covering this because this is a very long process. Um, so let's keep the item number 57 aside. Um, and let's go and do the next one. Google fonts are locally added. Google fonts are not locally added, but they are added to the theme. You can add them locally. So for now, I think that we are good with these settings, and I won't cover anything more because uh, these are very very specific to the theme and the site that you are using and the plugins that you are using, because of which I'm not covering them at this point in time. But if you want any help with these, let me know. I will go ahead and cover these for you. Please share this video with your friends, and we covered item numbers 41 to 57. If you don't know how, I can teach you one thing. We can do Cloudflare once if you want, because we still have how many minutes? We still have 8 minutes. I will show you how, but I will not do it because Cloudflare is a pain in ass when it comes to loading. Because this is not a production ready website, that is why I'm not doing it as of now. It adds a lot of security. You can go to Cloudflare. What you do is you go to the Cloudflare, you log into your account, and you add your website basically. Then you create an API key. If it is a production ready website, doing this is good. You can click on login and it will load the Cloudflare dashboard. Over here on the left hand side, you see your websites. Uh, Over here, I have configured a worker. This is not it. Domain registration. You can see that you have managed domains. You can register a new domain over here, or you can do it. I don't think it is allowed. It allows me to do it for a sub-level domain, such as this one. But that feature I will have to find over here on Cloudflare. Give me a minute. Manage account. You will have to register a domain which is a paid service, because of which I don't want to do. I can manage the domain. Um, let's go back here. I want to see which website is added as of now. I can remove this. I don't want to remove this. Can go to domains. It doesn't allow me to do it for subdomain. This is the main domain. It will don't want to do this. So as you can see, it says it is unavailable because it is already registered. This is to purchase the domain name from the Cloudflare itself, but I don't think I can do this over here. We can do this on a separate video because this takes a lot of time. You will have to get the token over here. So here you get the API and token, right? And then you copy this, you create this token, copy this token and paste this over here. You paste the domain name and then your email address, and it will save changes and it will do the things. But for now, we won't be doing this on this website because this is not production ready. This is just for the tutorial. For this is a security provider which is called as Cloudflare. So I will stop beating around the bush and say that I will not do it for the website. Thank you so much for your time, and we covered item number 52 to 57 in this video. Let's mark this yellow, and I will save this and I will export this as a PDF document. So if you have any doubts, you can ask. And by the way, if you don't know where to find the channel, you can go to AX and Toast or follow this link. All these videos that we have created for WordPress are over here. If you go to videos, you will see all these videos, right? All these videos from here to here. You need to watch all these videos and only then follow this particular tutorial that we are doing now. Okay, otherwise you will be confused about what is going on. I have to add this to the playlist that I will do now. uh, I will add them manually a little later of the video, but for now, thank you so much. Have a lovely day.